Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you a clip of an interview I did with Amish Patel. We talk about the pros and cons of pharmacy ownership. It's an interesting insight into the freedom associated with ownership as well as the responsibilities that go with it. Have a watch and I'd recommend you check out the full interview too. What do you see as the benefits of being a pharmacy owner as opposed to being a pharmacist employee?
Okay, so the most obvious and straightforward one is you can control your destiny. You control it. In that, when you're employed, an employer sets the agenda for that pharmacy and your role. And you may be able to have input into it, but overall, you're going to be delivering a role based upon what's been set out to you.
Okay.
But if you're an owner, you set the agenda.
Okay.
You can take it to where you want, how you want. So in terms of freedom, that's how I'd kind of summarize it. Being a pharmacy owner, I'd say you're completely free as a person. And when you're employed, you are, I wouldn't say restricted, but there's boundaries to what you can do within that role.
Okay. And is that a big one for you personally, having that freedom of being able to sort of mold your business the way you want to?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, without that freedom, I think that's when I was working with Boots and those guys. That's what I just felt. I felt that pressure that I had to conform to something that company, in all respect, they were paying my wages. So yeah. I had to kind of go along with that. Yeah. And I felt that's where, I found, okay, I'm not enjoying that part. I had some projects I wanted to bring, so I brought them to the company. And if they don't support it, you get knocked back on it. You're like, that's kind of taking that enthusiasm away out of something. You realize, then you feel a bit down about that. Yeah. So that was a big, I think a big point of difference between the two. Okay, it's really interesting. And if I was to ask sort of the opposite, what are the drawbacks of being an owner as opposed to a pharmacist employee? So I think the biggest kind of drawback is when you're employed in a pharmacy. Depends, I guess, to what type of company it is, but you feel you've got more support.
Right.
And as an owner, everything is, I guess it's a degree of responsibility. The degree of responsibility in an owner is a lot, and it comes down to responsibility to furnish any loans, debts, responsibility to have increases, responsibility for staffing, responsibility for the future direction. You have to be a bit more invested in terms of what's happening in the macro picture, because what happens there has a direct effect on you. Yeah. So it creates a lot of kind of heaviness on yourself. Okay. And as an employee, you wouldn't have that. Yeah. That's transferred over to the employer.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click on the video to watch the full interview. If you like the full interview, then please consider subscribing to my channel. You'll get to see more videos like this.